Good morning. This is your wake up call. Wake up call. Wake up call. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello, podcast world and the tribe of Inspire the Collective. Welcome back as we jump into another episode of What's in Your Backpack, a season full of travel topics, chatting with international travelers from all over the world, sharing their insider travel tips and tricks, entertaining personal stories for the do's and don'ts, and guided inspiration for the where-tos and where-nots to benefit your travel addictions. Shout out and admiration to the weavers out there, the ones that are living their dream life, and also to the dreamers out there, the ones looking to develop their own passions and chasing the life they have always wanted to live. I'm Michael O'Shea, aka your neighborhood travel guide, aka King of the 2-Day Holiday, aka the Passport Pillar, aka Catch Me If You Can. And this week's episode, my goodness, has been quite a doozy to get accomplished. And I know we are a day late, but our guest has had to jump through internet and VPN hoops for days to be able to make this episode a reality. She's hailing from all the way around the other side of the world in China. But friends, I am super grateful for her efforts to make this happen, as she is quite the travelholic. She is such a special human, as her personal hobbies even include ocean conservation and local sustainability projects. And her previous professional life was as China's first ever woman's pro surfer, currently living in China's surf capital, Hainan Island, where she can be found shredding waves daily, running a healthy lifestyle restaurant, helping operate a surf hotel, organizing beach cleanups, and is now even learning to DJ for the event she is hosting. I literally could go on and on about this woman's endless energy to live a fulfilling life, but please let me introduce Miss DarSea Liu. How are you doing? And thank you so much for joining me today.
Hello, Michael. Thank you for inviting me. I'm super excited to be on your podcast. Been listening for a while, and I am in love with it.
Thank you for the love and support from the other side of the world. I appreciate it.
Hey, of course, you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. I know, we chat quite often, and I know you have a lot going on right now with personal stuff, with business projects, and I definitely want to get into that stuff. I'm super excited to hear more and share with the people what you're doing about your and just learn more about your upcoming plans to scour the world after all this madness with the the COVID. But before we jump in, DarSea, I have a little disclaimer which I give to every guest to protect the listeners before we start the episode. Are you with me?
Of course, I'm with you.
All right. So for this show, I don't want any bullshit, just to create the story for the show, Miss DarSea. The intent of our time together is to bring raw and honest facts from your personal experiences to benefit our listeners for their travel future. We want to know you. We want that nitty gritty, whether that be the stories we can't fathom to be true, to even some of your most embarrassing stories you have a hard time admitting happened. No judgment, just sharing with the sole intent to inspire. DarSea, are you in and willing to open your travel backpack and share with the world your story?
Yes, I'm in.
Awesome. Let's get into it then. So just real quick, just kind of how we met. And what's funny is I'm going to share this in a second about your travel backpack and how we met. Me and DarSea had ran into each other at a festival that's in Thailand, that's actually about sustainability and about mindfulness and self-preservation and awareness, which is in Thailand, and it's called Wonderfruit. And we were dancing. I was dancing with my friends, and DarSea was dancing. Now, DarSea could literally dance, I think, probably a week straight without food or water. Like, I literally think she could probably not stop. And the best part about that I liked the show's called What's in Your Backpack.
I probably need some water. That's it.
Okay, maybe. DarSea was wearing this little, really shiny, bright, butterfly, unicorn-style backpack. and she had been dancing so long this night that the wings on the backpack had just basically fluttered over. Like, the butterfly, I think, died on her bag. It just died. Like, the wings could no longer stay where they were supposed to be.
Oh, that poor backpack.
I love that this is a What's in Your Backpack, and how we met you were wearing a backpack. It's so great. And this little backpack, I swear she had everything under the sun that you needed at the festival inside of it. There was gum, water, vitamins, everything you could have needed to get yourself through 7 days of dancing without a sleep, that were in there. I mean, it was pretty epic. Like, I think the backpack had like
That's a magic backpack.
oh man, it's so funny. But since
That's
then,
a
me and
survivor backpack,
it was our definitely survival backpack. And since then, Darcy's totally joined like our group of like that was my family from Bali. She's definitely joined our family, and me and Darcy remain super, super close friends. I'm so like honored to have her as a friend. The work that she does, which we're going to talk about, is so beyond inspiring. She definitely has inspired me over the last 3 years that we've known each other. And I just think your journey is so beautiful, unique, and special, and that you just keep living the life that you want, and it really, really is inspiring. I'm so glad that you're on the show and people get to hear your story.
Thank you. I am very grateful to meeting you and your family. Now it's my family. And yeah, you guys being a mentor for me as well. This is mutual. We all motivate, inspiring each others, and be a better self and make our world a better place.
Yeah, I agree. And you're definitely leading the way with that. And you've reminded me, like, the stuff that I'm doing now, cleaning the river every week. I go out for an hour and clean the river. And, that stuff that you set up every weekend where you're at. And that's inspired me to do my part. We all walk, like, we see trash on the ground and we walk over, oh, that's not mine. We don't take responsibility. And I think we get a little bit in our ego of saying, oh, that's not my trash. But to what I've done, this challenge is like just 10 pieces. If everyone did 10 pieces of trash a day, this world would be so much cleaner. And so you've really inspired me to do, have some awareness of the world I live in. And so I thank you for that.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Like, seeing your stories, videos, that just, it makes me so happy. And, for being ourselves, and you can inspire people around you to do the same. And that's our superpower.
Yeah, I've realized that. You've inspired me to do it, and now I'm inspiring random people to do it as well. And you're right. The life that we live becomes inspiration for other people. Like, people are watching, and yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. But I know so much about you, but I definitely want some people to know a little bit about more who you are, where you're living and what you're doing. Yeah, just a little bit of your story, please.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say hi to all the friends that are listening right now. Hi, you guys. Hope you guys staying strong and positive. Sending you guys so much love and positive energy. I hope whatever situation you're in right now, and just take a deep breath and just enjoying the life and appreciate that we're still alive. I appreciate your family and friends around you. My name is DarSea Liu. How I spell my name is DarSea. It's a pretty cool name. And my Chinese name is Liu Dan. So I am 100% Chinese, and I've grown up here in China. I moved to Hainan Island, which is the only tropical island. That's where I live right now. I've been living here since 2007. And that's also where I picked up how to surf. And this is definitely one of like my second home, I would call it. This is my home, yeah. I learned how to surf in 2007, become a pro surfer in 2010. It was pretty quick time.
Yeah. And no, wait a second. You didn't even know how to swim until how old?
19. Yeah,
19.
I actually learned how to swim and surfing in the same time.
Yeah, you didn't even know how to swim when you found the ocean. That's what's amazing.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I got some balls also.
Yeah. One way to say it.
Yeah. So I'm very, very, very grateful about my life experience. I always tell people that I grew up in a place where it has rivers and mountains, which is thousand miles away from the ocean. When I was a child, if you're asking me what's my dream, I would never come out says that I'm gonna be a pro surfer. That was not in my category at all, But life is very magical. There's 1.3 billion people in China, but I ended up become one of the first professional surfer, and I always felt that's meant to be my fate. And like that's the universe gave me that opportunity for a better reason, you know? So yeah, I competed at WSL. It's like World Surf League. I guess that's how to pronounce. So it's WSL Surf Contest in 2011. So I was one of the very first surfer that competed at the World Surf Champion title surf contest. That was a very, very big thing. That was an opportunity and changed my life experience. I would definitely say that, you know, because when I first began to surf, I was just more like having fun. But then when I started to compete, I realized, wow, there is a lot of door could open for me, which it did. And I competed for 4 years. Then I opened up my own surf club and bar restaurant, and I was sponsored by a lot of brand companies. So I was doing a lot. I was kind of overdoing it, I felt. Then I was kind of, you know, when you're doing so much, you kind of join your energy some way.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened to me. So in 2014, I felt a bit like I wanted a little bit different lifestyle. I kind of also want to upgrade myself in my life and also in this career. So that's why I decided to quit being a pro surfer, like stop competing. Then I was like, but you know, I grew up on the mountains, but like even I'm a surfer, I'm just riding above the waves, but I don't really have that deep connection with the ocean. But I'm the first pro surfer in China. Some way that I felt like I should have a deeper connection with the ocean. So then I decided to quit everything in China. Then I moved to Malaysia and I started to travel around. I started to travel for a couple of years. And I went to Malaysia, did my dive master, and just learning about ocean. I was working company called Scuba Zoo. So they're a company. It's a production company that only makes wild animal and ocean conservation films. So I worked for them for a little bit, working on ocean conservation films, and then I can promote it in China and just pushing ocean conservation, that information into Chinese market. So I did that for a little bit, and then travel a bit. Then, you know, I spent all my money. Then I had to move back to China in 2017 and just get my job, get my life back together and start making money. And then start traveling in between as well, you know.
Yeah, one thing that really, when I met you and you shared your story with me, that I think is really inspiring and for people to understand is that we aspire to do certain things in our life, and it may not be in the position that we're in right now. And we might get to that position, and once we're there, we might realize this might actually not be the position I really want to be in my life and what I'm supposed to be doing. So, like, you know, DarSea went from never knowing how to swim, becoming a professional world, like China's first ever women's pro surfer, to then realizing that her connection to this planet was more served by something that she could be doing, and it wasn't being done through a profession that most people would aspire to have for their entire life, leaving that profession and then paid. Like, she was paid by many sponsors and leaving that position to go and do work for the earth and like help do more than what's expected of her. And I am just so like hearing that story before and hearing it again just is like, it's mind blowing. Like, and I'm, oh man, you're seriously an amazing human being. I'm so cool what you're doing. So
thank
cool.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It takes a lot, like you said, it takes a lot of balls to do what you've done.
Well, I mean, it's easy to say, and while you're doing it, you're struggling so much. Like I was sharing with you the other day, like, you know, when I quit everything, then you go to somewhere complete new and very challenging, very difficult. Like what you're doing right now, you are doing amazing, like with your profession, like doing the hotel industry, but then you feel that doesn't drive you anymore. Then you quit everything now with what you're doing. Doesn't matter with the financial side or whatever was going on, there definitely is struggle. But what is behind the struggle, it makes us stronger.
So true. And so I want to say that I did go visit Darcy in Hainan Island, and I went to go spend time and see her life. And, she brought me in to meet her family there. And oh my God, this little village she lives in is so cool. It's tiny. And like these waves that come into this beautiful space that she lives where she surfs is so incredible. And it's called Hohai Village, right?
Yes, Hohai,
Yeah.
Houhai.
Oh, it's such a cool little space, and you're currently helping do a very healthy lifestyle food restaurant for a surf hotel, right? And you're also doing like some DJ
Yes.
music events, and you're doing beach cleanups, and yeah, share some of the projects that you're working on there currently.
Yeah, so Hohai, it's a small little fisherman village. It used to be, but in 2014, 2013, and got a one surfer come over here, opened up one surf hotel, and then now it's just a lot of surf hotel here. It have a little bit of vibe like a Canggu in Bali, but
Mm.
it would be like 5, 10 years ago of a Canggu. And it's very artistic, I would say. Hohai got that artistic vibe. All Chinese people, most people are really like me, that people are well traveled, but people are kind of doesn't really wanted to leave that box kind of a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Wanted to live their true life and be really connected with the people and the nature. We're living a fascinating city lifestyle. It's really hard to connect with people and nature. And so for most people, are super successful. They're artists, they're designer, but they are like the inner self starts to jump out that they want something more than just that. And so those are the people when they discover Hohai, and then it's hard for them to leave again. And that's why other people chose to stay here, which with all the fun people, then we start to make our fisherman village more fun to live.
Yeah.
And that's why I started to work. I started to organize like a market. We do market once a month to just promote city life cultures to the local community, because
Yeah, this
most of
market,
the
sorry,
local.
Darcy, this market you set up like in the roads, right? And all the vendors
Yeah.
come out and sell art, and they sell like
Yeah.
things that they're working on, or people are selling juices or food, and I think it's really cool that you're doing that, because you're bringing in all the businesses together as a family to give to each other.
Yeah, I think what is super cool, I made it the idea, is because I went outside a city lifestyle into the local community to all the fishermen people that they never had chance to travel outside this village, but I'm bringing that culture into them. So it's beneficial for both of the locals.
Yeah, you do a lot. Like you do a lot there. I mean, I forgot about the market. You do the market, you do the restaurant, you help the hotel bar, you do like fun DJ events just for fun. You do beach cleanups, you teach surf lessons, you teach surfing lessons through online. And then
I also
God.
organize the sun healing workshops. I do a lot of workshops
Jeez.
as well.
And the other really thing I like that you do is, so obviously as surf is growing and the awareness for China, you wouldn't think China and you wouldn't think surf, but you're really spreading the awareness. And what Darcy also does is, which is really cool, is she has a really good family in Bali, and she has a really good surf family in Bali and connections. And so what she does is, when this COVID's not going on, she sets up these retreats to bring people out of China into Bali. It's flights. She books the villas. She does surf retreats. She teaches people yoga and meditation. She takes people out in the city to meet people and have new friends. Like, she's bringing people out of the culture of China and really opening up their mind and their awareness for life and a culture that's, forced upon them to really reopen and reconnect with the world. Oh, it's such a cool experience that you do that.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I have to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
because like the last retreat I did last year when Saba and Jess, they were away, and you guys were in Turkey that time during that time, so that's why I didn't get to see you guys. But there's two girls from Shanghai. Even they live in Shanghai, they work for international company, and like they're very well educated, but they're very shy. And they're the girls that super super shy. They're very afraid of the ocean, but they come to learn how to surf. And there's one girl, I was encouraging her. And, finally I see how she's overcome during this whole trip. And then I took them to Ubu. I took them to do ecstatic dance, sound healing. And, doing this ecstatic dance, I see how she was open, moving like that. I was crying. I was in tears.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is a life-changing experience for them. It kind of opened up and showed them a totally different lifestyle for them, which that's why I really love what I do, because, there's every day I get a random message from people on Facebook, like on social media, my followers all the time telling me how I inspired them, changed their lifestyle. There's times that when I feel struggling, if I'm doing it right or not, if I'm choosing a right lifestyle, when I'm doubting myself, when time goes hard on myself, then I will receive a message by those people. And then I start realizing, okay, my exist is just to live my true self. And then I am already doing a big job for the planet, for the universe. And that's my exist reason.
Yeah, and just real quick, just to go back, just so people understand, like people that haven't went to Bali yet and understand where you took these two young ladies that had this big experience. In Bali, there's this really famous area called Ubud. So you have two main areas of Bali, which most everyone is Canggu or is like Seminyak and Kuta and Canggu, which is like the surf and busy area. And then you have Ubud, which is up kind of near the middle, which is very like holistic healing, meditation, yoga. It's very calm, chill, zen. A lot of people go there just to really connect with themselves. And up there, there's a space called Yoga Barn, which is beautiful, huge space. And they do this fun thing called ecstatic dance. And if you've never heard of ecstatic dance, if you Google it, it's quite interesting to watch. You're going to be like, dude, are these people possessed? But what ecstatic dance is, you take away what you think you go out to a nightclub and go dancing about. An ecstatic dance is just listening to the music. You don't care about anyone in the room. And usually the room is packed with people sweating. It's like you're doing this aerobic dance. And you just dance freely. You listen. It's that prime example as if dance as if no one is watching. And that's what ecstatic dance is. Just be free. You just free your soul of being afraid of what people are thinking or being judged. And ecstatic, I've done it once, and I think it's really, really uplifting for your soul to just let go. And so I could see why these young girls had such a life-changing experience in doing that because of the
totally.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, you said you left to Malaysia at some point in your travels. How old were you when you first left China to get out of your country?
My very first travel out of country, if Hong Kong counts, that would be 19.
I think a lot of people still think Hong Kong is China, but it is its own
in China,
country.
but we still need to get special.
Yeah, visa, right?
It is, yeah. So we still need to get our own visa. So it's kind of going outside of country. It's funny that when I grow up, because I'm from a countryside, I born in 86. Back in that time, when you're younger, I felt like go travel outside of the country. I never thought I would have an opportunity and chance go travel to other different country. How funny is that?
Yeah. Now you're doing it all over the world.
Yeah, because it's very difficult for us to travel.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about that in a bit about, you traveling and being Chinese and visas and stuff, because I've realized in a couple episodes people run into some issues, and so I do want to share about that for people to understand. I know you've traveled quite a bit. When was your last trip out of China? And, since all the virus stuff has went down, when was the last time you traveled?
That's December. That's right before the coronavirus hits us. Coronavirus started in the 21st. I got back on the 19th.
And where were you before that?
I was in Thailand at Wonder Foods.
Ah, yeah, the festival, yeah. Now, again, I want to talk about this because I spoke with you during the time of lockdown. Now, us in the States, there's only a few states that really went into a lockdown, and there's only a few countries that went serious lockdown. Now, DarSea was in China. She lives in China in a little surf village, and you were in full lockdown. Now, how was that? And now what I want to ask is, because a lot of us in the States, a lot of people around the world actually, are struggling with their time home. And you were in it before everyone else, and you were out of it before anyone else. Can you share like what you went through, and how can we be productive and be more positive through this? How can we Because I know you struggled and you had shared with me you were struggling. And how did you get through that?
Well, so when I first started, I was panicked. I panicked because with my own personal situation, because right before the virus starts, I invest all my money into a new business. So I was broke. As soon as I invest all my money, after 3 days, literally 3 days, and I had to close down both of my business. And I don't know how long I'm going to close. I have to pay their salary. I have to pay for their food. And I got a bill to pay. Then I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this has got to be serious. And I was super, super panicked because I was worried about money because I got bill to pay, as a lot of people right now facing that same as well, and also like when the weather is bad and you kind of drive with the vibe, and I was checking news so much. And all that, like when I meet my friends, everything you see, everything you hear is how many numbers of people got infected, how many number of deaths they have. It just nothing was positive at all. I remember on the 3rd day of our lockdown, and I opened my phone, I checked my message. The first things I saw was Kobe Bryant died, and that was the darkest day of my life, I was very, very depressed for a few days, but then I realized there's nothing else I can do. And then, I also just kind of start meditate, and I start connect with my inner self, to connect with myself, who I am, who I really am. I'm the one that actually acting can inspire others, or I'm the one can actually inspire others. Yeah. That's the question I ask myself. Because I felt like if you are the one, like so many people are waiting for me to tell them, hey, it's okay. What really saved me got me out of it is music. Music was very healing for me. The first thing I wake up, I turn on my music, I start brush my teeth. I have those quotes on my mirror. It says, instead of focus on the things that you cannot change, switch energy to the things that you can create. I have that quote on my mirror. That's the first things I see. And then I start doing my yoga. I meditate. Then I start making a nice healthy juice for myself, water my plants, and so I can feel my life still normal. Yeah. Then I read a lot of inspiration videos, audios. I start practice my ukulele, which I haven't been practicing for a while. I start practicing DJ turntable. I just start doing things that keep busy. I was working out so much. I work out a couple hours a day.
Oh my gosh.
But all the things I did, it needed a new opportunity for myself.
Right.
Because I was practicing DJ, because I was doing so much workout, and remember I was doing online surf coaching content.
Yeah. Yep.
All these things during the lockdown period. So I was so prepared. Soon as the lockdown finished, I got Nike asking me to shooting a project for them because they sell me all my workout. So Nike only have sports clothing before, but now they had new collection for yoga outfits. Because I was sharing so much of my yoga and exercise experience on social media during the lockdown time. Just the lockdown finished, and Nike invited me to be part of the shooting project. So I was prepared for. Also for my DJing, I practiced, and then soon as I finished, I got invited to play at a gig. I wanted to share with people is during this time, just charging yourself with multiple skills and do the things that you normally wanted to do and you didn't really have the time to do it right now. Because as soon as the lockdown over, you're going to be prepared for any opportunity is throwing in front of your face.
Oh, such a good perspective. Yes, I just shared this with a great friend I just had a conversation with, and it goes exactly in line with what you said. And I'm so thankful that I don't mean this in a bad way, like I got to talk to you through some of your hardships, but once I started seeing you, we were chatting about, getting through it, and hearing about how you got through it inspired me to be positive through how I was getting through it. And that's what I've been trying to share with people too, is you know, a lot of people are going to come out of this so much better than they were when they started, you know, and a buddy of mine said, you know, so many people always say, if I had more time, I would do this. And if I had more time, I would do this. Well, look, we have the time. And this is the perfect time to develop the habits that we want to use in our real life when we're busy. Because when we're so busy with work and life and kids and all these other things, we don't spend the time to develop good habits. And like DarSea said, and she did for herself, she started developing the habits that she wanted to be ready for when the lockdown was over. And as soon as the lockdown was over, boom, you had so many opportunities lining up. And that's how I've been trying to live my life, is sitting and doing the habits that I want to have when I get back to my normal life. And it's really changed my perspective of how my happiness is every day with myself.
Exactly. Yeah. From beginning of the virus, if we feel sad, lost, depressed, for a little vulnerable in that very beginning part, that's okay. We're human beings. We have emotions. We get affected by the outside environment. That's very, very normal. But our higher self have to remember to realize that, hey, don't get drawn into it too deep. To be able to feel our different energy, different emotion, it's a gift. Imagine you cannot feel all that energy. You don't have that emotion anymore. You're going to be a lone person, you know? So it's very, very normal. But I think it's very important when you do feel that, open up. Share with people, share with your friends and family, asking for help, asking people talk to people that you think they can motivate you and inspire you. And, you know, that's what friends and family do to be around us, because when your energy low, you need someone to charge it for you. So that's when I feel difficult, I was asking you to charge a battery for me. And you did. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome. It's honoring that you'd as much as you inspired me, that you called me for a little inspiration. It's nice that we can all give and take. I'm not sure how much you watch the news, and I don't even own a TV in the house, and I don't ever usually try and watch news. But if you've heard anything in the news from China, like how are they portraying, you know, travel, the virus in the outside world? You know, we get, and this is from the States, we get a lot of, you know, press about how they're doing and where the virus came from. Now, how are you getting information about the virus on the outside world? Like, or how is it being portrayed now to the rest of the world? Because you guys have kind of come off lockdown, right? You're kind of just living your normal life now.
Yeah. So right now, the whole country, it come out lockdown. Everybody back to normal life. People back to work. People start traveling. Right now, this week it's a national holiday in China, 5 days holiday. So we got a lot of tourists here. People are back to traveling. And I got back to normal. Like, I am so lucky living in Hohai because we don't have any cases around here. And they were taking very serious precaution before, and the whole village was knocked down. No one allowed to come in and no one's allowed to go out. We was in a lockdown for over a month. But now, since end of March, we are really getting back to normal.
Yeah, you guys have been back to normal for a little while now, which is nice. Do you have any trips planned right now that are going to be infected by any of this?
Well, I canceled 2 trips. I was supposed to go into Bali for the Spirit Festival. I was supposed to do a ceremony with the jazz. That was supposed to be by end of March 20th. That was my plan. So I canceled that trip. And one of my friends in Siargao was getting married on May 1st. The wedding is canceled, so I canceled that trip. So I canceled these 2 trips. But then also I decided I'm not going to travel abroad this year because China is so beautiful. So many beautiful places that I always want to go and I haven't been able to go. Yeah. And then I decide this year I'm going to travel in China.
There's so many amazing places out there.
Yeah, I think I know, right? So yeah. I think I'm only going to go to China in December for Wonderfood. Then the whole year I'm going to just travel in China and I want to go back home to see my parents.
Oh, cool. Yeah, your country's so massive, and there are some really incredible places that are on my list there that I still want to go see. if you could pick one place, well, not one place. How about this? Do you have a bucket list? A lot of people have it. Some people like them. Some people don't. Like, do you have one? And if you do, what is like right now the top place that you still want to see?
Oh, the very, very top list is Peru. Because I always want to go to where that has surf, it has mountain, it has that spirituality culture. Like Indonesia was that place. Peru is that place for me.
Yeah. If
also
people don't
Morocco.
know, Peru has I just came from Peru a few months back, and Lima has a huge surf community. You might not know this, but there is a massive surf community there. It is and beautiful coastline.
I knew most of those people also.
Oh, yeah. That's just such a beautiful place. Now, I know a couple of your really cool places that you've been, but is there a place that you've been that's completely captivated you that you go there quite often? I mean, is that Bali or is there somewhere else for you?
Well, I go to Bali really like so much that I can't even count. I always felt like Bali is my another home because I have a big community of friends out there. You know, that's a thing that keep bringing me back there because it's the people. You know, for us to travel anywhere we go, beautiful views are everywhere. But what really connects us, it has to be the people, right?
Agreed.
I keep going back to Bali.
Yeah, it's always been my place too. That's also mine. Seeing that surfing is such a big huge part of your life, where's been the most epic surfing place you've been? Because we might have some surfer listeners, and like, where is somewhere that's just been like, whoa, I did not expect this.
One of my favorite spots have to be Sri Lanka. It's so beautiful. It kind of have the vibe of Africa and Bali mix. It have that dry and also have that wet, and the wild animal is just so beautiful. You know, I would get up 5 o'clock in the morning and took this tuk-tuk to surf spot. And on the way to the surf spot, you will see elephants, you see peacocks, you see all different kind of wild animal on the street. And just living, you see wild animal and with a human living in harmony like that, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's a place that you've been that I was just so in awe of, like your story and going there. And was that outside of Borneo where the sea gypsies are?
No.
Where is that?
So the sea
Share
gypsies,
this story, please. This place is these people.
Okay. And so I went to, remember I was doing the work with the scuba zoo. I was working with the scuba zoo as a TV presenter. We're making ocean conservation films. And during one of the projects that I have to be a dive master because we're going to do a lot of underwater footage. So the company sent me to Mabu Island. Mabu, I think there's one of your episode, Denaya, she was in there also in Borneo. And I was in Mabu. So Mabu is a very famous island for scuba diving. If any one of you who love to scuba diving, you probably heard about Sibadan, which that's hour away from Sibadan. But if you're going to Sibadan to dive, you have to go stay in either Semporna or either Mabu. But I lived on that island, Mabu, for a few months to do my dive master courses there. And so there is a group of people they call sea gypsies, and also their name is Bajau people. Bajau people is all the sea gypsies. All the sea gypsies, they're all their generations been floating on the ocean for
on the water. Like they've been born on the water, they live on the water, their life is on the water.
Yeah, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, they're all the generations. That was the old days, but as now we all have borders, you know, even in the ocean, there's borders belong to different countries. So they cannot just floating around from this country to another country if they are without any passport. Those people, they don't belong any country.
Yeah.
Those people don't have a passport.
They don't have a country. They don't have a passport. They don't have an origin of where they're from. They can't even go on an island and on some land and say, oh, we can live here, because they don't belong to anything.
So those people, They can came to the shore, stayed on Mabu Island, probably 20, 30 years ago. They got stuck there because they got nowhere else to go. They're still living a very tribe lifestyle. There's some smaller islands around there. They're still very tribe. People still don't have clothes, you know. But in Mabu, which what is really funny is because there's a lot of 5-star diving resorts there. So it kind of like, that's something that I don't really like. And I felt like we're very disrespectful people. That even that's not their country, but those people were there first. And now for people who were, maybe they're Malaysian people, but they go there to build a hotel there and bringing this outside culture, bring all this plastic and bring all these things that can pollute that island into those people. But those people who doesn't really have a chance to leave the island, but they're going to suffer for it. And so I lived there. I went very deep to connect with those people. I was connecting with one family very, very deep, and which it's a very sad story. I was talking to the guy. He was the guy that he can speak a little bit English, but he's also the guy that there's a documentary about him, free diving, spearfishing. I was connecting with this family. I was talking to him about his life living there. He told me that he had 7 kids. 5 of them died because they just simply got sick and got infection and don't have a medical treatment. I was so sad in there. And also they barely have a house. They don't have they don't have a bathroom. They don't have a kitchen. They don't have nothing. They don't even have a fresh water to drink. And that was the time when I quit everything in China. You know, I was having a very good life and I went there. It was a very tough time for me to adopt that new lifestyle out there. I was going through a lot of emotional breakdown out there. But there's one day I walked through, I see an old woman. You know, imagine a 1.5 meter long boat. Have 3 generations, 7 people living on that boat as their house, and also it's their work thing because they need to use that boat to go fishing.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine, but you showed me photos, and you've showed me, and I would like to share some photos of that on the Facebook profile later. But it's really quite astonishing, you know, stuff that we sit and complain about. And then, you know, you showed me some of the stuff. It's like, how could I ever complain about anything that I have in my life? I'm so fortunate. And, you know, they don't know any different. So they're also very fortunate of what they have. You know, they don't know any different, but still, like, you know, it puts a lot of things into perspective. You know, they don't even know where they belong.
Yeah. And also imagine have no hope of a future. Like there's a kids. I was like, hey, I'm teaching you guys English. There's a couple who out there, it's all volunteers working there, teaching kids English. It's funny, it's a small, very, very tiny, small island, but there's 3 different country of people living there. There's one type of people, it's local Malaysian. They have Malaysian passport. And there's another part of people, it's Filipino, but they're kind of a gypsy also, but at least they have a country, they belong Filipino. So those people have a very low income working permit. They have a hope because now they got working permit, they can get job. But then there's a third part of people, and then there's the Bajau people. Bajau people is the people that they don't have a working permit and they cannot get jobs. So you asking the parents, say, hey, why don't you send your kids go to study English? They're like, what's the point? We can't get job anyway. You can't get job without working. Oh. So for them, they can't see any hope. That's the scariest thing for me. I think if you can see, what's my future? And we have the rights and power to plan our future, but for them, they don't have. They have no hope.
It's really kind of interesting to know that even exists. You know, like it's out of sight, out of mind. So we kind of like have amnesia. We don't even know this stuff exists. We just forget about it because we're so caught up in our life. But the stuff's really out there, and people are living off like nothing and living out on the sea, and they don't even belong to a country. They don't own a passport. So it's quite quite a realization of life. And yeah, it's really cool the work that you did with them. And I really want to go see these people. It is something that me and DarSea talked about before, and I do want to go meet these people with you at some point in my life. Would be truly an honor to go and spend time over there and try and help these people however we can, whether that's teaching English or help cleaning or anything, you know, bringing clothes would be really, really amazing.
Yeah, I did a fundraise for them while I was there. It was my 30th birthday. I spent my 30th birthday out there. It was on my birthday. In the previous year, every year of my birthday is a huge party, throwing a huge party. Then during my 30s, when seeing them, I think I really want to do something special to spend my birthday. So I told my friends, I said, hey, I want you guys give me money instead of buy me a gift. I don't want a gift. Give me money. And I want to do another fundraise. I want to raise money to host a dinner party for the whole village. That was my original plan.
So cool. Yeah.
And so then I raised over $1,000.
Whoa.
And then I was like, oh my God, with this money, I don't want to just spend money to buy them food. I want to have money to upgrade their lifestyle. So then I started doing a lot of research. I want to build a toilet for these people. Because the other day I saw a woman, she was taking bathroom on the beach and covering it. It was kind of broken my heart. Now I would say, okay, I got to build a bathroom for them. Now I was doing a lot of research about building a toilet. You have no idea how difficult it is to build a toilet.
I'm sure.
First, that's not in my country because I'm Chinese, and that's not their country. We have no right to build something in other country. We got no rights, even if it's just a toilet, you know. And to build a toilet, we need to have all the reclaim system, all the systems that cost like $100,000. It was just like, no way. It's so difficult. All the research I did, and then I was doing a lot of plans that I really don't want to spend the money just one dinner and boom, it's gone. I really wanted to benefit their lifestyle. So, and then I found one of the organization and charity organization, which is a friend of mine. Is a organization that I trust. So I give my money to. Then combine with their money and with my money, because we hired a medical team when there, because all the kids have very bad teeth. They have like when they get sick, they can't go out to hospital. Because on this island have no hospital. When they get sick, they just get sick. There's no pharmacy, no nothing. Yeah. So with medical team went on the island to do all the health check for them. And on Christmas Day, actually. So I waited. My birthday was on September. I raised the money from September. We didn't spend the money until December because I want to spend it right.
So did you guys end up building the bathrooms, or what did you guys end up spending the money on?
No, in the end, we didn't build the bathroom. In the end, we spent the money to take getting medical and doctor team, just giving them a lot of medical to prepare for them. And also we brought, on Christmas Day, we also brought food, and we also brought some like pencil, all things for them to usable to make their life easier to live.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I love that I've seen a lot of people lately doing fundraisers for certain organizations or things for days or for like organizations for their birthdays. I think it's a really beautiful thing. People are becoming more selfish and becoming more selfless, and that's really, really been amazing to watch. So something that I wanted to touch on too is, since China is so big, and since you did bring up that, you know, you're going to spend a lot of time traveling in China this year, is, you know, what are some spots that people, the average traveler, might not know about China to visit? You know, a lot of people know, okay, Beijing or Shanghai, the Great Wall, but, you know, what are some really unique places that the average traveler might not know of that they can look up? Because I know there's some very beautiful places, but from your perspective, what are some places that people should check out that they don't know?
Well, like my hometown is called Enshi. That's in Hubei province. It's pretty far away from Wuhan. Enshi, we have one really beautiful place. It's called Grand Canyon. And that's in Chinese language. It's super, super beautiful. We have beautiful mountains, rivers, and
Mm-hmm. The
yeah,
Tiananmen,
I mean,
is it Tiananmen Mountains? How do you say that? Tiananmen Mountains?
that's in Hulan.
Yeah, that
That's
place looks
also
incredible.
close. Oh yeah, so
Mm.
my hometown is that kind of view.
Wow. I would say
My
people
hometown
should check
is
out.
so beautiful.
Yeah, you showed me photos. So green and luscious and mountainous and looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
I think from my perspective, from being there, people definitely should put Hainan Island on the map. Like, Hainan Island is beautiful. It's the most southern part of China, surrounded by beautiful beaches. So for me, I think Hainan Island is for sure a must visit for people.
For sure.
Now, for people that are interested in visiting China, so, and sadly enough, I get a lot of people that are like, oh, I'd never want to visit China, and oh, especially now. And it's just like, to me, it's very closed-minded, but there's still so much I can't wait to see in China. So for visiting China, for people that are very curious and want to come, like, what are some tips that people could use for visiting China in the country, like whether it be maybe restrictions on coming in or, maybe cultural lifestyle that people can fit in better? How can people kind of like, make it more beneficial for them?
Well, for most of the countries that come to China does need a visa. So that's something that you have to be aware with. What is so special is a Hainan Island. Hainan Island, if you fly directly to Hainan Island, then you get 1 month free visa. Like 1 month, you can stay here for 1 month without visa.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the new law started in 2019.
Oh, that's cool.
Let's say if you fly from Singapore, as long as there's a directly flight to Hainan, then you don't need a visa. But I think you do need to contact with the local tourist company to send your invitation letter. That's it. If you go to any big city like Shanghai, Beijing, there's a lot of people speaks English, but still. So you do want to have a dictionary app on your phone, translation things on your phone, be prepared. And there's a lot of things that you probably want to know that in China, we don't really use cash. You do exchange your money, make sure you have a lot of small changes. Because sometimes if you are using the 100 kwai bill, there's stores that probably don't have cash to have a change for you. Yeah. So that's going to be difficult for you to spend your money because people don't have a change for you because we don't use cash right here.
Yeah, people don't understand. They use this thing called WeChat, and it's a texting app that's really big in China, but they also use it for payment. And get this, so I was sharing this with a friend yesterday. It'd be like we both have our phones out and we're texting each other, and like let's say I wanted to give DarSea money. It's sort of like a PayPal or a Venmo. I could say DarSea needed money to grab some food, or let's say she gave me a surf lesson. DarSea could say, well, your surf lesson's, $25. And she'd pull up her WeChat account and there has a QR code. And I would type into my WeChat $25 and I scan her code. Boom, she gets $25 instantly. And that's how it works at grocery stores, at supermarkets, at the gas station, at nightclubs. Like anywhere you go, the QR code's sitting on the table. And you just anywhere.
Even street food.
It's crazy. Like you could transfer. I saw a video of this lady that was homeless in China and she had no money, but she had a phone and was asking someone for money. And the person that she asked was like, oh, I don't have any money either. And she's like, it's okay. I have WeChat. And the person scanned her WeChat and sent this homeless woman $5 or something just right there on the street. But that's how it works. That's crazy. So yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah. When I went to visit DarSea, in Hainan Island, and be prepared for, time limit because of the translation issue. Like, okay, you come to the United States, almost everyone only speaks American. Well, when you go to China, practically everyone only speaks Chinese. You got to be ready for that, and there can be a lot of delays in trying to get things done. Like I missed a train, but I had planned about 4 hours for my flight, and I had missed a train because the line was so long and people were everywhere, and I didn't have any translation. I was by myself, and I got on the wrong line. I bought the wrong ticket. So yes, the translation thing, and be ready for that. But don't be afraid by it. Just be ready for the challenge. And it made me smarter for when I go to other places. Now I'm ready to go to China now. Like it prepared me for other parts of China. Uh,
Exactly. Yeah, and always make sure that get your address ready, your hotel address, the people who you're meeting. If you get a local contact, get their phone numbers ready so you can asking people to call, and be prepared to get some kind of sentence like easy questions and printed them out. And so when you want to asking someone question, you don't know how to say it, and just pointing it out to people.
Oh, I love that. Print out the questions on the paper, and then they can help you answer, and like through a translator or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and I
Nice.
remember I sent, because sometimes if you don't have data, you don't have internet. Remember when you come over, I send you all the questions. Hey,
Yeah.
where I get this, where I get
Yeah.
that. But that's in China. And you can show that question to a stranger who's walking past, and anyone would help you. I would say Chinese people, we're very friendly. If
Yeah.
anyone asking a question would help you.
Very true, and it was that way. I just needed to put myself out there to ask, and be, have some humility and ask. You're very right. And so, traveling China was great learning experience. Really put me out of my comfort zone, but learned a lot. And I had you as a background to help me, which really helped set me up for success. But yeah, China's really amazing. A lot to see, a lot to see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is one of my favorite things is asking, what are your travel ninja essentials? And the top thing in my ninja essentials I always want to know is, what are your top 3 essential items when you travel? What are your main things that you love to travel with?
I always gotta have my phone because in China, phone is my life because of my
Yeah.
bank, how I spend money, everything. Like I have my phone around, and have like nowadays that travel with the phone is make travel much easier because
Yeah.
you download all the app and you can use it with everything.
I know you don't travel with that butterfly backpack all the time. Do you have do you have like a favorite? Do you have like a specific backpack brand that you like to use that's like your go-to?
Well, I have to tell you, the butterfly backpack is the only backpack I spend money on it, because I have all the sponsors that they give me free backpack. So I don't have to spend money with my travel
Yeah.
backpack. The butterfly backpack is the only one that I spend money. And right now
candy,
I'm
yeah.
using one is from Dickies.
Dickies?
Yeah.
Since you're the big beachy type, always on the sand, do you like to wear flip-flops when you're out walking new places, or do you wear sneakers?
It depends the condition. But my most shoes to wear is Vans.
Vans,
I can
same
wear
as
Vans go
Tanaya.
out. I can wear Vans
Yeah.
for walk. Yeah.
That's Tanaya too. She loves Vans. That's what she said as well. Now I know the answer to this question.
Yeah,
but
I heard that.
Are you a sunglasses type person? Yes or no?
Are you kidding me?
You have like,
well, yeah.
she has
like,
colored sunglasses. Do you have a brand? I know you love to wear sunglasses, but do you have like a brand that you definitely stick to? Oh, but she has like yellow and orange and blue, and she definitely has the sunglass game like down packed.
Yeah, so I got surfer's eyes. What surfer's eyes is when you're sitting in the water, the sun's super bright and stay out there for a few hours and you get the reflection from the water. So then your eyes get burned. Like there's people have to do surgery for that. And for
Wow.
me, remember there's times I told you that I couldn't open my eyes for a few days and my eyes just keeping dropping tears in because of my eye got sunburned. So
Wow.
yeah, I need sunglasses to walk out. Like I can't leave like without sunglasses.
Do you have any specific apps that you like to use when you travel? Like I always ask, like, what are the top 3 to 5 apps? Because people always have very unique apps that they find. In
The
China, I
top
would
three
imagine.
definitely is Google Map. It's the
Google
very
Map.
top one. And I also use a currency exchange app.
Which one do you use?
And the one I'm using is Chinese
Okay.
one, Alipay. So which
Oh, I
is
know.
very easy from. Yeah, and I also use like I think a transportation app is very important for me. Like if I go to Bali before, I already got my Gojek,
yeah.
or
Grab?
yeah, Grab is working in Thailand, Indonesia,
Asia.
and some other in Asia country.
Yeah.
But also like if I come to States, I got my Ubers ready. because I wanted to be able, as soon as I arrive, I want to be able to get transportation to where I go.
Yeah, for all you people looking to go to Indonesia, obviously mostly probably Bali, Gojek is the app that you would probably want to have. Grab and Gojek. Gojek will do everything for you. They'll deliver your mail. They'll deliver a package, bring you food. They'll do everything. Gojek's the main app there.
I love Gojek.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Our buddy Jess uses that for literally everything. Now, you got to go.
Yeah, you can even order a massage.
Yeah, you can have massage delivered
Remember we
to
did
you.
that?
That's funny. Yeah, it's so funny. You can order everything on there. When you first, when we were talking about traveling, you got going early at 19, you had said, what is it for you about traveling that really has, built up your courage? How did you ever get through that as a woman, getting out, especially out of being from a small town, way up in the mountains? How did you ever get out and get going on that?
I think even when I only started travel when I was 19, travel abroad 19, but actually my very first country it's Philippines. But since I was young, I went to boarding school, so I kind of living away from home. I have to go to different city to study, and then I go to another city. I found my parents are really raising me with that lifestyle to just go with it, just go out. But I think when I'm travel alone, you just, I haven't been feeling feared or scared while I'm traveling. But I love traveling alone, by the way. I really enjoy traveling alone. Yeah, just imagine how many friends I have right now over the world just because I was traveling alone.
Agreed. I've met some of my most dearest family friends from traveling alone. I agree, and I love that you say that. And I hate to put the stigma out there, and it's not to be sexist in any way, but I get a lot of friends that are female in the States that are just like, "How do you do it? I could never travel alone. I'm a woman." And it's not that I'm putting them in the box; it's they put themselves in this box. And that's why I like hearing from women like you and Tanaya and April that you go out and do it alone, completely alone. And it changes your life. And it's not to be sexist because there's plenty of men that are scared to travel alone. I have a lot of friends that won't travel alone that are men. So I love hearing that about women that just are so empowered to do it alone.
It's so easy. Yeah, I think travel alone is really beneficial for ourselves as a person because when you travel alone, you brings the best side of you out. I love travel alone.
Yeah, I really like it too. It takes a special person to sit and be alone and travel and appreciate and still go out and appreciate everything that you see and be completely alone. It's a special type of travel, and I love traveling with friends too. Don't get me wrong, I do like it, but there's a different growth experience for yourself when you go out and do it alone.
For sure.
Yeah. Earlier, you had mentioned, just about your prepping for travel. You had mentioned being from China, you do got to get a lot of visas and you got to apply a lot of places. Have you ever been denied a visa or had any issues with applying for visas?
Yeah, last year, America. And what
Really?
is funny that I used to have a green card.
Yeah. You did have a green card in America. That's right. I would imagine that was a bit. Did you already have your tickets planned, or were you just still in preparation?
Still in preparation. I did not have my ticket, but I have very good invitation. It was a very big company. I have a lot of invitation letters.
Yeah.
It should be very easy for me to go, but they didn't even ask me single question. But
Wow.
I think for a lot of people. American visa is very difficult in China to get, so most people get rejected. I think they have a number of every day how many number pass they will give to. If they give out the pass out today,
then they have to reject.
Then other people coming later, and they're gonna be no chance.
Yeah, April on the 4th episode, she had talked about she's been rejected from the Philippines too. So she was it was my dream for a long time, and now that I've been rejected, it was you know what? It's not that big of a deal. If they don't want to let me in, fine, so be it. There's the rest of the world I can go see. And I thought that was a great perspective out of that. Do you have any, now this is, this is, a growing experience. Now, do you have any tips for facing immigration? Because immigration can be a bit rough when you get up there, Have you had any run-ins with, hard immigration? Do you have any tips on how to better be prepared to talk to the immigration officer?
Oh, immigration, be nice and just tell the truth.
Well,
And
yeah, of course. I
it's
always
so
try to be
funny that
super nice.
yeah, be very nice, say hi to them. It's very hard job for just sitting there putting stamp like that, and you have to be very put so much tension. If you miss anything, like let's say if I'm reading that criminal, they let me go, it's gonna be a very big mistake for their job. So it's a very, very high intense job for them. But for us, sometimes we travel for 10 hours, 12 hours on a flight. You get very tired. So we can be frustrated. But always be nice to people. It's very important. I think when they always gonna asking you why you're coming here in immigration, I think it's always nice to tell them some of your activity you're planning to do and make them feel, oh, you're all prepared and planned when you're coming back. So I say, every time I go to immigration, I say, oh, why you come here? I'm like, oh, I come here for a surf trip. I come here for diving. I come here to see that mountain, whatever, what I'm doing. So I tell you exactly what I'm going to do.
I've never done that. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, because they start have a conversation with you. Like say, when I tell them, when they check my passport, I start speaking English. They always say, oh, you speak very good English. I'm like, oh, thank you. So what are you coming here for? I come here to surf it. Really, you surf Chinese? I say, yeah, I surf. Then they start having a really nice, fun conversation with them. I always end up having fun conversation.
Yeah, you know what? You just gave me a great idea for myself now when I go to, I'm going to do that, but I'm also like, oh, I've done a lot of research about your country and I really love this and I really love this. And then you're feeding into that you are really appreciating their culture and why you're there. And you're right. We go through 10, 12, could be 20 hours of transit, and then we stand in a long immigration line. And we're all bitter and, tired, and we're all in our feelings. And then we get up to him and he starts grilling us, and it's like we almost get on the defense. I definitely know. I've been there. I felt like, what the hell? I'm paying to be here. Why you treat me like this? But they're just protecting what's coming into their country. And I'm glad you said that, because now it just gave me a brand new perspective of how I'm going to approach immigration, and just really to give them comments and compliments about their country and that I'm so thankful to be there. And they'll be like, oh, cool. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Thank you for that. Such a great idea. I have a question. Since you do so much sustainability work, and I have a million questions, obviously, but seeing that you do so much sustainability and conservation work, does that impact where you choose to travel?
Definitely has. Like I wanted to see places that were an example for me. Like I went to Indonesia or anywhere I go, I would to check their conservation works, and I also would go to see their organizations. That places that I can learn, so I can bring it back. For me, travel it's a school for me. It's going to upgrade myself. I go to see new things. And then when I go to San Francisco, I would go to visit shark organization and shark production organization. When I go to places in Mabu, I will go to do turtle hatching to help turtles. Places everywhere I go, I try to involve with the local community who does conservation works, so I can learn from them and I can share what my knowledge and their knowledge, learn their knowledge also, and so I can bring it back to my community to pass it on.
Oh, yeah, that's really awesome. Another friend of mine said the other day, we were having a long chat, and he said, you know stuff that I don't know, and I know stuff that you don't know, and we can always learn from each other, and to have that open mind, and that's what you go do. I love that. No one's ever said this before. Traveling is a school for me to upgrade myself. Oh, my God, that's so deep and so amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, so
well, there's
cool.
There's one sentence in China, and it's called 读万卷书不如行万里路. So that means reading 10,000 of books, it's not good enough as walked 10,000 miles. And there's longer goes on is walked 10,000 miles. It's not good as reading 10,000 people of stories. How cool
Whoa.
is that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. Like
Yeah, that means you read 10,000s of books, but
from
if you
people's
walk
life.
10,000 miles, you learn more than you read 10,000 books.
Yeah. But then you can walk 10,000 miles, but you'll learn more by asking 10,000 people their story.
Exactly.
Wow. How do you, when you're going and doing all this stuff, how do you invest your time and your life into helping save the planet? And how do you ensure that you keep the focus while traveling? You know, I'm sure it's ingrained in your DNA at this point. When you travel, you still are focused on sustainability. How can, the average traveler really take that into focus and think about things? Because it's so easy. No, don't get me wrong. I'm still trying to break the habit. Like the drink will show up at my table and there's a straw in it. And I'm like, God, dang it. DarSea's the one that really got me on the straw kick. And DarSea's the one that really brought in my awareness of the straw usage and that it's an amenity. We don't need a straw. We have a mouth that works. Straws last like, I think it's 5,000 years or something like this or more. And, when I worked in Manila, DarSea's huge push in this helped me want to change the entire hotel and casino that I worked at to bring no more plastic, all paper straws. But when I go out, my brain checks out and I forget when I get to a restaurant to say no straw, and then they bring it and it's already in the drink and I'm like, oh man, how can we develop some habits in our daily life to rid ourselves of plastic? Like the other day, I was at the store with my mom, right? She was buying some groceries. There was 4 things and I was like, I'll just carry them. She's like, why don't you just get a bag? Well, I don't need a bag. I can carry it. It's still the breaking the habit of the daily things that we forget. And how can we, do you have any tricks or hacks on how we can start working that into our daily life to be better?
So first, I think meditation is definitely will work because that's our awareness. Meditation is our self-awareness. You have to know the reason why you wanted to live a sustainability lifestyle. So for us, we need to find the answer first. For me, it becoming my lifestyle is easy right now. But the first, my reason is from the beginning, I don't want to surf in a polluted ocean. I don't want to surf when there's trash tagged on my surf, on my leash, on my board, on my hand. I'm surfing trash. Today, I'm surfing the trash. There's so many trash. I don't want that. And also, I knew I can't survive without freaking plastic straw or plastic bag.
100%.
And if I can do that, if I can refuse one, and for sure I can refuse 2. And then in the end, you just find idea to use. Sometimes I go out, I want to buy pineapple, but I didn't bring my own sustainability bag. I don't want to use a plastic bag. I just take in the pineapple and I hold down my shirt. I just holding it on my shirt.
Yeah, you can wash the shirt, right? You can't wash the plastic.
Yeah, you wash this. Exactly. Well, I also wash my plastic bag because sometimes I still have a plastic bag at home. But if I used it, I wanted to use it. I wanted them to be not just one time use it and throw away. I keep reusing them and just keeping wash them and dry them and I use it again. So for me, why in the village, everybody famous to know. When they sell me things, they know I don't need a bag. I don't need a straw. When I buy coconut,
you become known.
Stuff.
I love
People
that.
really know.
They know you. That's really cool.
Yeah. And
because your village is
all
small,
the
right?
vendors say, yeah, the village is small. So they all know I'm the lady that don't want a plastic.
I love it.
I tell you, if you have to be mad if the waitress or anyone keeping bringing that straw. You say, if you do that again, I'm not gonna pay the bill. Then they're gonna stop giving to you. I do that. If I go to a market, there's a she keeping giving me bag every time. I told you the reason why I don't want a bag. If you give me again next time, I don't buy things from you.
Oh, you know what? There's a quote that I love that it sounds like what you live. It's like you have to be red hot to make someone else lukewarm. And you live red hot about sustainability. And you live so red hot that you don't want plastic. And you live it. You're burning with it all the time, that fire that you don't want plastic. And so you're starting to make people around you warm enough to realize. And I think that's really amazing. You almost have to be crazy about it. And And you are, and it's such an amazing craziness to have because you are impacting the people around you. Like I'll be honest, we do have sandwich bags in our house that are plastic, but I wash them. We don't throw them away. I wash them every time. I mean, we've probably used these bags like 600 times, and I wash them over and over and over.
That's very good.
And it does cost a little bit more money sometimes. Like if you can buy online sustainable like sandwich bags or vegetable bags, and you just wash them. They're heavy duty. You wash them and you use them over and over and over and over. They're built for sustainability. It takes us I like how you said the meditation, because you have to almost be awake to meditate when you're consciously not using plastic. You have to work. You have to come out of the subconscious of being sleeping while you're living and not go, okay, I'll take plastic everywhere because it's easier. You have to realize that like sometimes the best things in life don't come easy. And so you got to be conscious enough to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to use plastic, and be aware. And I'll be honest, I still a lot of times and live in my subconscious, and I'm like sleeping and ordering without thinking, and I forget. So I'm still learning too. So thank you for that reminder, like the meditation thing. I like that. I'm going to try and really work that into my life.
Yeah, and it comes with the conservation. It's not just plastic. There's so many things in our life. Just be conscious about everything. Also, I try to turn off my lights when I'm not around. And I try to use all my products, my hair conditioner, all the powders for washing my clothes, all that things I use eco-friendly product for my house, because the things that we use normally I have a chemical, and all this chemical it goes into the ocean and it will affect our water, will affect our ocean system. It connects with the microsofter, it will kill the animals and will affect, like it goes to the dirt, it will affect our water for us to drink. So for many small things, if you can take a public transportation, take transportation instead of 10 people taking 10 taxis. That's more polluted. If you can eat less meat, and try to eat less meat, because meat industry is the worst for our environment.
Pollution, yeah.
So it's basically, if you can use a bamboo toothbrush, use a bamboo toothbrush. If you can use toothpaste powder, use powder. There's so many little things that in our life, almost everything we use is hurting our planet. But if we try be aware with it, and then just tiny little thing. If you focus on let's say you just saving on stop using one plastic straw, and you're already doing your part. Every single of us, we can do our part to fit our lifestyle.
I agree. I think the biggest thing is that it goes back to me when I talked about the trash thing. When I pick up 10 pieces of trash, we walk over it thinking, me picking up this 10 pieces of trash doesn't help. Well, me using this one plastic straw doesn't help. Well, this is the ego that gets in the way of us not being aware. Like, okay, great. Let's just think about it this way. Just imagine for 5 seconds that if everyone in the world today didn't use a plastic straw because they're that one person, they did the one thing that one time, how much better it would be. Imagine if just today I picked up 10 pieces of trash, and then if everyone in the world picked up 10 pieces of trash, that makes a collective difference. That is what we call inspiring the collective, by doing one little thing by ourselves. I love that.
Yeah.
Great perspective.
Yeah. Remember I started Take Away from the Sea?
Yeah,
so that
I do remember
idea,
that.
it was everyone who goes to the beach, they spend their time picking up seashells. All the things, taking things away from the ocean, it doesn't belong to them. So when I start taking away from the sea, that means imagine other people spend their time picking up seashells, and instead of picking trash. How big change that could be.
I know. I agree. Take the photo and take away trash. Take the photo of the seashell, but take away some trash. I like the I'm really like your Take Away the Sea project is really cool, and it's really smart. It's just like you bring something, take something away. You came here to visit our beaches. Like, can you help us a little bit with, cleaning some of the space up? Do our part. Now, do you have any memorable mistakes, or like maybe traveling disasters or transport disaster, like anything that's like kind of been like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened?
Yeah, there is one very okay. Well, there's a lot of things. There's time that I walk into the airport. I say, "Okay, I'm flying." I was checking into Guangzhou, and the woman look at me and say, "Hey, sorry, you booked your flight to Wuhan." I'm like, "Oh, really?"
Oh my gosh, really?
But yeah, yeah, that's really stupid one. Because I was supposed to go to Guangzhou, then when I was checking my ticket, and they said my ticket was booked to Wuhan. So I got a new ticket right away.
Oh
That's
man.
the dumbest. But I did so many dumb, yeah, dumb things.
I think
But
there
there's
should
one
be a
I had
somewhere in our
like it's
passport.
embarrassing dumb.
There should be a back part area of our passport that has like the terrible mistakes that we've had that we can like write in, or we get a sticker, like,
Oh yeah,
okay, you fucked this up.
right.
Here's your stamp for the country, but you've also fucked this up. I think that would be funny.
So okay, there's a time when I was in Bali, and I booked my trip to go to Java for a surf trip. And
Uh-huh.
going to Java, you cannot take a normal airport. You have to book this small airplane called Susi Air. If you don't
Hmm.
take that, then you have to take a 12 hours bus. I'm like, I don't
Oh
want to
my
take 12 hours
gosh.
bus, that's too much. Yeah. So the night before I'm leaving, and one of my best friend was there. Monica was there. She's like, "Hey, you wanna go out tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm flying tomorrow." She's like, "Come on, let's go." I'm like, okay. So we went out party, and then we went to another party. When we went to another party, then in that I got back to the hotel 4 a.m. and I didn't even have my room that day because I'm flying that out. I said, okay, I'm gonna crash with Ethan. And Ethan was sleeping with another my guy friend TZ, and both of them are gay. So I come back home 7 o'clock, and I sleeping in between two gay, and with them, and I was sleeping. I passed out right away. My flight, I was supposed to go to airport at 7 o'clock. So Ethan and TZ waking me up, say, "Hey, Darcy, you're a nerd, and now you have to go to airport." And I opened my eye. I was pretending like I'm very sober and I know what I was doing. I told them that, yeah, I know I got plenty of the time. Don't worry, guys. Just let me sleep more. I told them that. And then I wake up like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I was like, fuck, I missed my flight.
Oh man, I've
I missed
missed several.
Yeah, but that was stupid. I was stupid because I was so stupid. And I wake up, I tell them, don't worry, I got lots of time. That was a very stupid one.
Oh, I've done that many times. It's fine. I think that just adds to our story and our journey of sharing and our blunders. And it's almost like sometimes I'll be honest, like I don't learn. I still mess things up.
I
It's like
never
I almost
learn. I don't know how
it's
much
like
ticket I throw away.
it's like I think I want to have more of these stories. I don't really understand. So, Darcy, in my last episode, I introduced this segment of random questions to Roberto called Overqualified Opinions. But for this episode, I'm going to change it up with you and introduce a new section called the Fishbowl of Randomness. And I literally have a bowl here with a ton of with a ton of random questions in it. And I'm just going to reach in and pull out a piece of paper, and I'm going to ask you the question. And then just a quick short answer. They're just all fun questions. They don't need an explanation. They're just all really fun, like kind of get to know you questions. No explanation needed. Are you in for the fishbowl of randomness?
Okay, I'm ready. Bring it on.
All right. First question. If you could meet one famous person in history, who would it be?
One famous person in history,
Yeah, someone that maybe has already died.
I would say Lao Tzu.
Lao Tzu.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2. If you could pick any city in the world to live, where would it be?
Tough question. To be honest, I don't have one yet.
Okay. Still exploring the world.
Yeah, I'm still exploring, and I like where I am right now.
a good question. You don't put yourself in a box. You're like still leaving it open to the universe.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. What is your biggest fear?
Myself.
Mm,
My dark,
okay.
my dark, my dark energy.
which
Myself.
we all have. All right, number 4. Oh, perfect question. Because I'm sure people in, the stigma of like food in China can be a bit crazy, which I did want to eat scorpion when I was in Beijing, which I didn't get to. But the
Ew.
question is, what is the craziest thing you've ever eaten?
Snake by accident.
Snake. That's actually a delicacy in a lot of places, like the heart and everything else, the blood, and indigenous tribes in the Amazon use that for a lot of things. So interesting. Okay. Question number 5. Last question is, what is your country's favorite ethnic style of food? Like Thai, American, Spanish, Mexican?
I love Thai, but I
That's my
also like
favorite.
Vietnam food.
Okay.
Thai.
Thai. That is mine too. Oh, I love Thai food.
Yeah.
What's funny is me and my sister are learning to cook Thai at home right now because we went vegetarian about, I don't know, 7 months ago, and so we're starting to cook vegetarian or Thai food at home. So question.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been really good. We cooked some food last night. It was really good. Soup noodle last night. It's amazing. Super spicy.
Welcome to the vegetarian world.
I've been there since September last year. Loving it. Loving it.
That's
Now,
great.
if you were to travel, when you travel back to Bali again, what are, some top 3 things that you'll ensure to pack? For future travelers, what are, the top 3 items for you that you'll bring back to Bali?
I will bring my flip-flops, that's for sure. Sunglasses, that's definitely have to be, and bikini.
Okay, perfect. That sounds perfect for Bali. And I'm going to go the other side, the same question, but now for the question for your bucket list item. For when you want to go to Peru, with all your travel experience, what do you think the top 3 things are that you'll bring to Peru?
I will go to Peru. I think I'm going to bring a very open-minded myself. Because I think I go to Peru, I don't want to just simply surf,
Right.
I want to do all the ceremony, all that. All the material items, it really doesn't matters at this point. To going there, I have to be really prepared in a right mindset.
Yeah. I will say going there for me is the same as like I went there for a lot of indigenous like medicines and going into the Amazon to do a lot of self work. And so having that open mind was incredibly important for me. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
If I could say like one thing to add to your Peru trip would be a pair of boots, which I did learn from our friend Jess and Dave that went there for quite some time, is because there's so much beautiful scenery and so many like Cusco and Pisac. And if you go to Machu Picchu, definitely bring some boots. Boots would be, I would say, is a must if you're going to be in Peru.
Yeah, that's a
Just
really
a
good idea.
Tip from me. And I'm sure because you're going to be surfing as well, obviously you'll probably bring something to surf with. Peru has a really vast amount of dynamic scenery like to visit. So if anyone's going to visit Peru, do some research because actually I learned so much more about Peru when I was actually there. I wasn't prepared for. There is some beautiful, amazing things to see there that I was not prepared for. And for you, DarSea, there's so much amazing stuff that I missed. Like I have to go back.
Yeah, I really want to go there. You see the sceneries, mountains. I want to go there surf. I want to go to there do medicine ceremony. Yeah, it's just I'm very excited. Definitely when I go, before I would definitely getting more tips from you and Jess and Saba,
Yeah, it's so amazing, so amazing. So with your surfing and your traveling, they're very much connected for you. I want to know, how has surfing and traveling connected you more to Mother Earth and yourself? Because right now we're in a huge phase of realizing we need to connect more with ourselves. And what I've been pushing in a lot of my videos and things is like, we can see that Mother Earth is cleaning right now. And we all really appreciate it. We like to post the photos. We like to say Mother Earth is cleaning. But it's a great example of how she's cleaning and we also need to clean. And how has surfing and traveling connected you more to yourself and to the Earth?
Well, if not surfing, I can't imagine where I am right now, to be honest.
Right.
Because of surfing, it opened up my travel door also. If let's say I'm 30, I'm turning 34 now. In my culture, in my age, during this time, if wasn't surfing, I'm probably end up having kids right now, and
Yeah.
then that's gonna stop me for traveling, exploring myself, who I am as an individual human being. I think surfing definitely. I did TED Talk in 2018, and my topic was I was saying surfing is a compass of my life.
Yeah.
Because before, without surfing, I don't really know who I am as an individual. But through surfing, at least I have a tag. I'm a surfer. But through more surfing I do, and I get into yoga. And then when I get into yoga, I get into meditation, and just the more things, the deeper I dig, and the true self of me is start to come out. And yeah, I think my passion is definitely the key of my life door. Surfing is the key, but when the door opened up and I start just keep digging and digging and digging, it definitely surfing travel. Also, like when I throw surfing, the people I connect with is super inspiring. And when I travel, also I meet out different people. Imagine if I leave my hometown my whole life, I will have a totally perspective of a life living. I don't think I know who I am. As a person, I don't think I will care about plastic,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think who I am today, it's really hard to tell how does that really affect me and change me. But while you're traveling and surfing all this lifestyle, it's a totally new lifestyle. It kind of just show you what other type of a lifestyle we could live, and still like we can actually do that. Like before, if only live in my hometown, I never travel, never surf, I think, oh, only rich people can do that. That's not true though.
Right. Roberto had said, we have to build travel into our life. We have to build our life around the desire to travel, it starts to open us up to the entire understanding of everyone else, which once you get that bug, you will. Like you almost have no choice. Like once it's in you, you have it, and you will start to build everything else around that into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, like, just knowing who you are and what you've done, like, I'm sure the ocean and has totally impacted your life. And just to know that you've quit a profession that people would give their life to have, you quit that to further connect yourself to what it gives us free life, which is the earth and the ocean. And it still blows my mind when I say it. It's just such an inspiring story. From that, and you've shared quite a few things already, but what would you say is the greatest gift people receive for themselves through traveling abroad out of their own country? Like you said, you can travel in your own country, fine. But once you leave your country, what is that gift that, the greatest gift that people really receive?
I think a respect from the other countries' local people. When in Bali, I'm sitting my Balinese friends' family and calling them mama, and they're calling me DarSea baby, calling them papa. I think that's the best gift I've received, because I'm considering as a family. I'm not just a traveler. I'm part of them. I'm part of the family.
I shared this in one of my other episodes, like going to the Philippines, like, and Indonesia's the same. Like once you connect with these people, they will literally bring you into their home and share their life with you, and you become part of their family. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. I think that's definitely the biggest gift I will have. Now I feel like anywhere I have family all over the world.
Yeah,
and
for sure. Me too.
I think that's the biggest gift we have. And of course, self-development. We grow, we overcome ourselves through travels as well. But the connection you build with the local, the actually local out there, and it really makes you feel like you belong there. You're not just a traveler.
It's almost like this is a weird analogy, and I don't know why I just thought about this, but it's like traveling abroad. It's like when a snake sheds its skin. It's like you start to release this old you, and you start to have this new
Totally.
shining view of yourself, and this new skin is
Oh,
showing. It's
yeah.
like, oh, look at this brand. It's like as
That's
soon as
such a
that.
good example.
I don't know why it just hit me. It's like as soon as you fly out of your country, it's like the skin is shedding off, and it's like this new you evolves, and it's just like, oh, okay, I like this me, and you find new things in life that you really appreciate about yourself, about other people. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know where that analogy came from, but it just came to me. It's funny. Now I know you again, like you said, you are a psycho about sustainability, and it's beautiful. And how can us as travelers, the people that are still trying to learn to live that life, how as we travel, how can we maintain sustainability focus and protect the world and the planet and the cities around us while we're still enjoying traveling? Like, do you bring anything with you? How do you do it? Like, what do you do?
Well, yeah, very easy. Like the simple thing is the first thing, always bring your own water bottle. I always bring my own water bottle.
Yeah.
And through you travel, you always get water. Like sometimes on airplane, they give you like plastic bottle water also.
Yeah.
And just always bring your water bottle. That will really save you to buying a lot of plastic bottle waters, right? And also, I always bring my knife and forks as well. And I have a package, the knife, forks, and straw. I have that. So on the airplane, when the food comes, I use my own knife, forks, so I don't have to use the package one. Because the package one, they have a plastic knife, forks, and they have a package bag outside wrapped it around also.
Yeah, more plastic.
So yeah, more plastic. And also I bring extra couple bags with me just in case that, I always have a bag, but I have another bag inside of my bag just in case I needed to buy something, I can pull it out to use. And also just bring your own toothbrush, bring all the things that daily basic have to use, and don't use anything from the hotel. People they're like, oh, I don't have to bring my things that the hotel has it anyway. Most people think in that way. But bring out that stuff. It doesn't really take so much space from our luggage.
No, not at all.
But when you really get into a place in there, and Tania was saying that also supporting local businesses. That's what I always do. I always buy local food, street food, supporting the local community. And also, don't go to see any animal show.
She said the same thing. Don't support animal exploitation.
Yeah, that's something I would never do. People go to Thailand, they ride elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah, never do that.
Yeah,
don't just because the elephant's suffering all that
so
animal.
Bad.
So the more if we support that business, and this business gonna expand, and there's gonna be more animals gonna be suffering.
A lot of those elephants got released because there's no one supporting it, so they can't keep. Like, what's the point of keeping them? And I love that they've just released a bunch of elephants, and I think, oh, so happy to see that.
And go to, if we can take public transportation as well. Yeah, and staying hostel. When I was younger before, I never stay in hostel because I think, staying in hostel, you share a room, all that stuff. But staying in hostel, you seeing that we're saving a lot of sources. We're saving powers, waters, all that stuff. Imagine 10 people staying in one room instead of 10 people staying in 10 rooms. That's using more powers, energy, all that stuff.
Very, very true. I didn't, even as much as I stay in hostels, I never really even took that into perspective. Like, you're saving so much more energy, power, water, waste. This is my favorite question of the show, and I ask everyone. If right now you were to see yourself, Miss Little DarSea Liu Den, in the street, passing by you, your little kid self with her little backpack on, as she's headed to school, full of books and supplies, what solid, really good foundation piece of advice would you give to her?
I would tell her, learn better how to spend her money.
Okay. Learn how to spend your money better.
No, I mean like a smart money in a smart way. That's what I'm trying to say.
Like, could you give an example?
Don't spend your money on stupid things. because I used to do that, you know.
Yeah. Do you think that's part of our learning lesson as we like are evolving? It'd be great. Like if I could have future me tell me like, hey, can you go back to Vegas and not spend that 8 years worth of money? You'd be so much better off.
Yeah, don't
It,
spend that money buy that Gucci belts.
my God, I think back to all the money I spent there and it's just like, my gosh, how much good I can do with that money if I had it. But I also now have felt that
Me
it, it
too.
it's made me respect my hard-earned work now and where I spend that money. And traveling has made me then, like you've seen, like the gypsy people. I haven't even seen anything that bad, like the gypsy people, the sea gypsy, sorry. And you've seen what money can really bring to people that have nothing. And now I've been able to say, wow, okay, I really could do something better with this money than doing what I did with it before. Big learning lesson.
Totally. Yeah. Well, it's also part of our journey.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you have any, as we're getting ready to get to the end of the show, and do you have any last piece of like really good advice for anyone listening when it comes to life or traveling? Any quotes that you live by that you can share?
yeah, I think the quote is I mentioned it before, is the one that instead of focus on the things that you cannot change, and switch the energy to the things that you can create.
I like that. Yeah, so you're rechanging or redirecting your focus of your mind. I liked it. I shared with my nephew the other day. He's 21, and I was trying to share with him the power of our words. And it's like we're magicians, right? In our head, we're magicians and we're creators. And like you said, don't focus on this don't, I can't, I won't, this is what, I didn't want this, and change it to the things that I can create. What can I create? And yeah, it's such a great perspective that to be the magician that creates with our mind.
Yeah, and we can easily get, and also I want to talk about one word is influencer. Now our big, as the social media word right now, we're always talking about, you're an influencer. I'm an influencer. People come send me email to people and say, hey, I'm an influencer. I got this much follower. Can I get this thing here for free? There's a lot of things going on like that. But
Yeah.
really being an influencer, how you can bring impact to other people's life, how you can really influence other people in a positive way. I think that's called influencer. We should really bring ourselves, say, yes, I'm an influencer, but I'm influencing people to be a better human being, to love our planet more, and to love ourselves more, to be loving more, to be forgiving more. And that's how we inspire each others. That's what our big community for. That's our tribe exists for.
Yeah. I would say that someone that you wouldn't think is an influencer when you think of that word, but I think is a great influencer is Will Smith. Like what he influences is the power of message and his positivity and he's just such, oh man, he's so amazing. I love his message and his journey and his family, and they just, that is influence. Like Ellen DeGeneres and people like the people that give back, and like you're an influencer. You are influencing. You're influencing me. You influence people around you. You do things that influence people to do better. That is influencing. We just need to be careful who we listen to because that's influencing us. And you might not think you're an influencer, but who you listen to and who you watch, that's influencing you. So be mindful of what we're listening to and taking in and dedicating our time towards.
Exactly. Yeah. Surround us with the right people and trusting ourselves. Because when you're around something, you don't feel comfortable, and that's not right for you. If you're with some people saying things that doesn't make you feel good, and that's not the people that you should be around with. You want to be with people around that inspires you, motivates you. You can grow through have people around like that. I think that's like I'm so lucky and fortunate to have you, Jess, Daba, and so many other of my friends that in my life playing a huge part in my life, really just mentoring me, motivate me, and drive me to who I am right now. And I'm sure like we're going further. Life is gonna be way better next year, and every year is better.
I agree, and I think surrounding yourself with people that push you to be better. And I was in a very confused place in my life when I met DarSea, and she's been inspiring me, and it's now nice to hear that I'm inspiring you, and it's like we just continue to inspire each other. And surround yourself with the people that make you go, wow, I want to do better, and like at some point you will influence that person back. I've always been a strong advocate of like who you surround yourself with is very, very crucial. DarSea, would you mind sharing any of your social media details to bring the audience further into your efforts, what you're doing, whether it's your we can watch your projects, I know you're doing some judging on World Surf League. Like, how can we watch and be further interactive with you?
Well, you can add my Instagram, find me DarSea_LIU. That's my Instagram. And you can also find me on Facebook, DarSeaLiu.
Okay. I'll put those on the Facebook too when I post that, and I'll post some stories about it as well. Perfect. And then I will post I'm not sure if you've been so active on your Takeaway from the Sea, but I did like that page a lot. If you can, just update me with any other projects that you're doing, and I'll put that online, and I'll so people can watch what you're doing and supporting your sustainability or projects, because you do a lot of beach cleanups, and it would be cool to see some of your market posts. Like, I definitely want to get some of your market pics, because I'm going to post that on the Facebook, and so people can see a lot of this stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, I have all those photos and video stuff on my Instagram, so you can find it there as well.
Perfect. Well, DarSea, as we near the end of this episode, I just have to say huge thank you for being on the show. It's truly been an honor to have you with me.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, to continue this journey and have you on the podcast is so honoring for me. You've inspired me to get to where I'm at, so it's only fitting that I bring you into the family with me, and part of this journey. It just fits. So thank you for sharing your knowledge and your perspectives and your stories with us. Please keep inspiring us and sharing your amazing journey with the world.
Thank you. I'm very, very, very excited and to be on the podcast. Having a good time chatting with you as well. I'm very, very proud of you. Thank you for inspiring me as well.
Yes, and I know we're going to keep doing the same. So DarSea, welcome to the family and the tribe of Inspire the Collective. Stay safe out there. Keep that bag strapped and laced. And the pro traveler mindset tip for the week is sometimes life is about risking everything for a dream that no one else can see but you. And that's going to wrap it up for another episode of What's in Your Backpack. Thank you for joining Miss DarSea Liu and I for this episode. As for next week, Mr. Karsa Moody, aka Basayang Hilau, is joining the family of Inspire the Collective. This dude literally has traded the normality of life for traveling. American born, but quickly converted to a Philippine native, a travel icon and vlogging superstar of the Philippines. He does nothing but travel the archipelagos of this gorgeous country. His journey is beyond jaw-dropping. He speaks 2 different dialects in the Philippines. He's a photographer, a blogger, while him and his female companion are inspiring people with their journey. I can't wait to unpack this dude's backpack and learn how he does it. If any of the listeners have questions for Mr. Basayang Hilau himself, please comment, message, share whatever is on your mind so we can gain his insights. Until next week's episode, stay safe out there, stay humble, and stay tuned for another episode of What's in Your Backpack. Please stay current with Inspire the Collective. Head over and join our Facebook page where there will be uploaded photos from this episode, from the travel tips and tricks of Miss DarSea Liu and information about her journey, plus much more. We are further expanding the reach, so please join us and get involved as we grow our web-based community. Find us at www.inspirethecollective.com. For our Facebook and YouTube page, you can also search Inspire the Collective. And don't forget to follow my Instagram at Michael__O'Shea to get your fill of inspirational content and podcast updates, plus a lot of travel fun. Try to remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a plane ticket. And that's sort of the same thing.